Everybody, please find your seats. We're about to begin the procession. And please silence your cell phones. Yeah. Everybody, please clear the aisles because the procession is about to begin. Thank you.
Also, at some point during introductions, that the whole event is being live streamed on drslive.com.
I gotta write that down.
DRS Live. This is a sign that keeps flopping around for me to let up the stage. Okay, so I don't know if I need it there. I don't. drslive.com.
Is anybody listening?
It's not my job.
I remember last to say that.
No? Please clear the aisles and silence your cell phones. The procession is beginning now. Everybody, please remain standing as Mr. Richard Hagler will lead us in the Star-Spangled Banner and the Hatikva.
Followed by lave of Penima, Nefesh Yehudi Homiyah, Ufahate Mizrach Kadima, Ayin Litzion Sophia, Od lo of the Tikvateinu, Ha-ha-tikva bachnot alpayim, Liyotam chavshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim, Liyotam chavshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Everybody, please be seated. It's my pleasure to welcome everybody to the 22nd annual commencement exercises of the Stella K. Abraham High School for Girls, which is a very important part of the Hebrew Academy of Long Beach. These proceedings are being live streamed at drslive.com for the viewing pleasure of people who could not make it here today. Permit me to introduce to you the members of the dais, starting from my right, Mrs. Etty Hirschberg and Mrs. Atara Yudin, who are co-presidents of the Parents' Council. Mr. Richard Hagler, who is executive director of HALB and Chazan par excellence. And Mr. Mitch Kirshner, who's the co-president of HALB. Mr. Lance Hurt, the chairman of the board of HALB. And continuing on, Mrs. Helen Spurn. Anybody not know who she is? Ms. Bluma Drebin, Principal for General Studies. Ms. Dina Cobry, Associate Principal. Ms. Alana Flamenhoft, Associate Principal. Ms. Ellie Kamenetsky, Director of Religious Guidance. Ms. Sandy Pomerantz, Assistant Administrator. And Rabbi Yosef Zakutinsky, Director of Religious Guidance. It is now my pleasure to call upon Shoshana Rakoff, who will deliver the salutatory address.
I want to make sure everything's perfect for you, Shoshana. Is that too low? That's good. Thank you. Good luck, sweetheart. Thank you.
Jack, Ted, and Warwick pull together, they can seemingly conquer the world. It feels as if it were just yesterday that I walked into SKA for the very first time. I hopped off the bus wearing a knapsack that was bigger than I was, and that was the moment that I finally felt like a real grown-up. Little did I know that standing there at a height of 4 feet 11 inches, not much has changed, I looked like I was going into second grade. As I was making my way towards the entrance, I was attempting to read my schedule at the same time that I was trying not to get lost or bump into people, when suddenly I stopped. I stood there and peered up at a huge banner that was hanging from the wall next to the entrance. The banner had a picture of what seemed to me to be hundreds, if not thousands of faces. And the banner read, "Welcome to the SKA family." A family? I know it's a school, but for a school to become so close-knit that it calls itself a family, is that even possible? Well, the next 4 years of my high school experience showed me exactly how it's possible. And when I turned from that banner and stepped into SKA, I truly was stepping into a home and joining a family. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. My fellow classmates, we've been through quite a journey together. Freshman year was full of firsts, and therefore full of growth. Sophomore year, what even happens in sophomore year? Junior year was a year where some challenged themselves academically, and a year where others faced grave cases of stage 1 senioritis. And before we knew it, senior year came rolling in. It started with our yearbook pictures, and continued with our seminary and college applications, interviews, and decisions, the fun stuff. And here we are today at our high school graduation. What is a family? Usually, words such as mother, father, sister, and brother come to mind. However, the dictionary defines family as a group of people who genuinely love, trust, care about, and respect one another. Notice how there's no mention of blood relations or DNA, just a mutual love and respect. The Torah expands upon this concept of family and comes to teach us the importance of our responsibility when we're part of a greater whole. In Sefer Bamidbar, Hashem commands Moshe to count Bnei Israel by saying, "Si'u et rosh kol adat Bnei Israel lemishpachotam lebeit avotam." Lift up the heads, count the congregation of Israel by family according to their father's household. Sefer Bamidbar is also referred to as Chumash HaPikudim, which means the book of counting. The shoresh pakad means to count, but it also means to remember and is related to the word tafkid, which means purpose. When we are counted, pakad, we're remembered, pakad. We're unique and significant, which highlights our individual self-worth. However, as much as we count, we are also held accountable. We have a tafkid, a purpose, and take part in a greater whole. How do we fulfill this tafkid? What determines success? Is success determined by our intellectual or athletic capability? Is it determined by our popularity? Maybe by the amount of likes or followers we get on Instagram? Well, research suggests that the answer is none of the above. A group of psychologists followed a high school senior class for 50 years after they graduated, and they discovered that the most successful people were the ones with the greatest level of cooperation amongst classmates. And if that's the case, class of 2018, let's be prepared for one successful life. Take 9th grade color war. Our freshman family was in panic zone because we did not have a Team Purple mascot. And a girl in our grade got up there and decorated herself with 50 purple balloons so that she would look like a cluster of grapes. If that is not commitment, I don't know what is. We also have girls in our grade who spend time before every single test making a review sheet, but they don't just keep it for themselves. They share it with the entire grade so that everyone can benefit. If not for those review sheets, we as a grade would not be sitting here graduating high school right now and receiving our fake diplomas. Let's have a round of applause for our Stella sisters. Woo! This culture of camaraderie and unity did not happen in a vacuum. It was nurtured and cultivated by our devoted teachers, administrators, and staff. the leaders of our SKA family. We must also acknowledge our biological families, because we would not be sitting here in this room today if not for their unconditional love, support, and guidance. Just a special shout out to my family, my parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, family, friends, for being here today, for supporting me, and most importantly, for believing in me. And of course, we also owe a huge thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for enabling us all to reach this huge milestone, and for allowing us all to enter one another's lives so that we can learn the meaning of togetherness. I would like to end with a story. There once was a man who was driving through the countryside, and he accidentally drove into a ditch. The man managed to climb from the ditch, but his car was stuck, and he needed help getting it out. So the man walked to a nearby farm, where he asked a farmer for help. "Warwick can help you get your car from the ditch," said the farmer. The man turned to see where the farmer was pointing, and he realized that Warwick was an old mule standing in the field. Wondering how an old mule like Warwick could ever pull his car from a ditch, the man had nothing to lose and showed the farmer and Warwick where his car was stuck. The farmer hitched the mule to the car, and with a tug of the reins, he shouted, "Pull, Fred! Pull, Jack! Pull, Ted! Pull, Warwick!" And the mule pulled the car from the ditch. The man was amazed, but he had one question that he had to ask the farmer. "Why do you call all those other names? I don't see a Ted, a Fred, or a Jack. All I see is a Warwick." The farmer grinned and responded, "Old Warwick could never pull your car from a ditch by himself, but he's blind, and as long as he believed that he was in it with Ted, with Fred, and with Jack, he could do just about anything." And on the last day of school, I walked out of SKA and once again looked at the big banner that read, "Welcome to the SKA family." This time, however, instead of questioning what the SKA family truly was, I knew what it was because I was a part of it. Sometimes it's just about knowing that you're part of something bigger than yourself. It's about recognizing that each and every one of us have Teds, Freds, and Jacks, a family to support us, guide us, and believe in us. When we have that mentality, and when we pull together, we can seemingly conquer the world. Thank you, and Mazel Tov.
Thank you, Shoshana, for those beautiful words. And now it's my pleasure to call upon Mrs. Helen Spurn to address the graduating class.
Good morning, members of the dais, esteemed faculty and colleagues, parents, grandparents, guests, my family, and my beautiful Talmidot. Today is a celebration of SKA's 25 years of service to the Jewish community, and a true milestone for the class of 2018 and the Haub SKA family. These are our 22nd commencement exercises, and today we will award 81 new diplomas to each of you. We thank Hashem that we have collectively graduated 1,640 SKA Young Women Kane Yearbu. I would like to share a brief message with you regarding a famous saying of Hillel found in Pirkei Avot, Perek Bet Mishnah Vav. You'll recognize it. Bimkom she'ein anashim, hishtadel lihiyot ish. There are many ways to look at this, but you'll understand why I'm reading it the way I am. In a place where there are no leaders and no one stepping forward, strive to be that leader. Let me expound. Don't be overly humble. Don't be indifferent. Don't be dispassionate. Rise to the challenge, and you be that leader. Be the one to make a difference. Seek to emulate the great people of earlier times and work toward greater achievement for our Jewish people. I want to share an example about following our destiny to its fullest with Esther Hamalka in the Purim story. In Perek Dalet of Megillat Esther, Mordechai tells Esther it is up to her to save the Jewish people. You've heard me say this, girls, many times on Tanis Esther. Kim hacharesh tacharishi. If you persist in keeping silent in a time like this, deliverance will come to the Jews from some other place. But you and your father's house will perish, and who knows whether it was just for such a time as this that you attained the royal position. Esther heeded his words. She rose to the challenge, and the Jewish people were ultimately saved through her intervention. My dear graduates, I know that we have taught you here at SKA to make a difference wherever you are, in all stages of your lives. There is never just one way to be a leader and to make the world a better place. I implore you to use your strengths to stand up and make a difference, especially when you see injustice. Stand up to the bullies wherever they are. Stand up on campus to those who attack Israel. Make a difference in the lives of special needs children and adults. Look out for those who are lonely or are sick. Stand up for those who suffer discrimination and encounter harassment because of their race, their gender, or age. Be a compassionate leader and elevate all of those around you who want to be involved but need to believe in themselves more fully. Be inclusive, and you will make a real difference in your community. At senior night, we pay tribute to each one of you, as unique individuals with your unique traits and gifts from Hashem. Please know that it has been a zechut these past 4 years to watch you all evolve, to see you identify your strengths and become confident and self-aware women. Women who know how to reach beyond your comfort zones and be resilient, compassionate women who can make a difference in the lives of others. As our 22nd graduating class, you've come a long way since Yom Chaverut and Getting to Know You programs, how you loved Leiliyun and your sophomore lobbying trip, we forgot that before, to Washington, learning about Israel advocacy and working hard at making a difference in Congress. In junior year, you experienced our inclusive Avat Yisrael trip. And at Shabbaton, you adopted a lonely girl, a little girl who was a guest, too sick to go to school. And she quickly discovered that she had 300 new friends at SKA. Talk about making a difference. You gave the seniors a run for their money and even came close to winning color war. As the senior class of 2018, you rose to another level, channeling your chesed with the gymnasia students. You became leaders in production and nurtured the underclassmen with sensitivity and warmth. You went up to Shabbaton the night before the rest of the school and enjoyed the faculty panel Friday morning on making choices. You have served as leaders on all of our sports teams, clubs, academic teams, scappenings, publications, and broadened yourselves spiritually through MAX, TTYL, Sparks, and Israel Action Committee. How you love dressing up during Adar, as SKA staff members, pregnant and otherwise, and how we appreciated your hysterical senior spiel video. Thank you for gracing my home on Purim night with your spirited dancing, gramen, and you even enjoyed my cookies. Thank you. How Hashem has blessed you all. You are now able to think deeply and critically in your way. You're able to work collaboratively and independently, to achieve academically and communicate effectively, and to develop your avodat Hashem in meaningful ways. We, the entire staff, administration, everyone who's here, we are so proud of who you have all become. I am personally honored to have been here from SKA's inception 26 years ago, creating and leading the SKA family, educating and empowering almost 2,000 young women. What can I say? I'm grateful to Hashem that this has been my calling, and SKA has truly been a joyous and meaningful part of my life. I thank you all. Here are some brief highlights of our journey. I thought you might find some of it amusing and hopefully the rest meaningful. 25 years ago, That's a long time ago. Almost no one had cell phones, only car phones. There was no email and no internet. And of course, how could there even be any social media? I know my students would find that unthinkable. We were the first school in the neighborhood to have whiteboards. That was a big deal. Little did we know then that all of our classrooms would later be filled with smartboards, and that our students would one day participate in a one-on-one iPad program where their learning would be enhanced by educational technology. A religious Zionist school for girls with a Halb Hashkafa. Wow. We started with 38 students in our first 9th grade and grew so quickly. Today we're filled to capacity with girls coming to school from over 20 feeder schools. We have marched on 5th Avenue in 25 Salute to Israel parades. I've done 23 myself. Participated in 24 sophomore Israel advocacy trips to Washington. Sent representatives to many an APAC, NORPAC, and Right-On conference. Davened for years for missing in action soldiers, and received a first-time early engagement award from APAC created specifically to honor our students' commitment to Israel advocacy. Many of our alumni now live in Israel. Over 25% of the first graduating class participated in a reunion with me in Jerusalem in January. It was so, so special. We have achieved a record of academic excellence in Judaic and General Studies, and are proud of our students' outstanding acceptances to the finest schools in Israel and the United States. Our alumni are very accomplished and are realizing their professional and personal dreams. They are doctors, lawyers, educators, engineers, entrepreneurs, psychologists, writers, professors, cybersecurity specialists, artists, graphic designers, and so, so much more. We are thrilled that almost 30 graduates work closely with our students in different capacities at SKA. Next year, another milestone, the first daughter of an SKA graduate will be graduating SKA. Amazing, right? That deserves some applause. Come on. The way we teach and engage our students has been transformed over and over again, and moved from frontal learning to collaborative, differentiated, project-based learning, enhanced by 21st century learning strategies like flipped classrooms and technology. Kudos to all of our dedicated teachers and to Mrs. Drebin, who've worked hard at adapting our faculty to these new approaches. In our 3rd year, our school was dedicated by the Steinberg and Abraham families in the name of Stella K. Abraham. And I'm not saying what the K stands for, girls. Aleha Shalom, a woman who lived to 102 years and inspired many with her wisdom, kindness, and commitment to Torah, the Klal, and family. And I'm so proud of our girls. Every year they honor her and dedicate the yearbook. One of the dedications is to her specifically. We were the first yeshiva high school to win the statewide mock trial tournament in Albany. I think it was within the first 5 years of our school's history. We were the first yeshiva to win first place in the Siemens Westinghouse science competition. Our refusal to participate on Shabbos, naturally, made national headlines, and eventually the policy was adjusted on our behalf, but for other students to come. What a Kiddush Hashem we created. We've always pursued spiritual growth opportunities and created cutting-edge programs for our students. We have won multiple NCSY jump leadership competitions, which have enhanced our school and the greater community. Special Hakarat HaTov to Mrs. Elisheva Kamenetsky and Rabbi Yosef Sakatinsky for their leadership and impact in developing these spiritual cutting-edge programs. We have had many top winners in the Yeshiva University Bronco Weintraub Talmud competition, and our Torah Bowl team has won multiple championships, too many to count. We have strived to inculcate our students and treat everyone in the SKA community with our yeshiva's core values of honesty and integrity, kindness and compassion, respect and dignity, hakarat hatov, trust, sensitivity while focusing on the empowerment of young women, and of course, building lifelong relationships with teachers and students. Over time, we have become a community of diverse learners and are honored to help all types of students find their niche and excel. Hakarat Hatov to Mrs. Sarah Taib, who continues to make this mission a reality. Find your passion and live your dream. Design your destiny. We're proud of our electives program where our students can study art academy, graphic design, STEM engineering, sign language, Spanish as they enter SKA, but can choose many other electives throughout their high school experience. Our building is over 100 years old. It's remarkable. Yet we have created recently a new STEM lab, a studio art center, refurbished, a graphic design studio, with plans for a new science center in the near future. Our students serve the community through an extensive chesed program that started 25 years ago and has included missions to Israel, Berlin, New Orleans, and Houston. Our girls have dedicated, I counted this, hundreds of thousands of chesed hours, chesed hours over these 25 years while developing their level of compassion and sensitivity. We have experienced 3 middle state self-studies and on-site evaluations over these years, and the reports, including this year, and the reports have exceeded expectations in all areas. For this year, I say thank you to Ms. Flaumenhaft and Mrs. Manny. We have created teacher internship programs and a new teacher induction program to maximize teacher training and retention. We are so proud of our multiple publications. Many have won yearly awards from the Columbia Scholastic Press Association. The Looking Glass, our school newspaper, which went online this year in a very new format, an exciting one. Matrix, our literary journal, our Holocaust journal, Sketchbook, and At Patach, our Haggadah, which enhances all of our Sidarim. We have won many sports championships over the years, especially in basketball, and we are thrilled that our students enjoy these opportunities. We have trained many educators and administrators and are proud that some have moved on to growth opportunities in other institutions. I want to take this opportunity to wish our associate principal, Mrs. Dina Cobry, much mazel as head of school in Na'aleh. A new school that is opening in Bergen County. We thank her for 10 years of dedicated service at SKA, where she has truly made her mark with students and faculty alike. I have partnered with many presidents over these 25 years who shared and support the vision we had in making SKA a premier Jewish high school for girls, and I thank them for their commitment to women's education. Jerry Williams, Hillel Davis, Stewie Samuels, Jay Gelman, Joey Janikowski, Lance Hurt, Nathaniel Rogoff, and Mitch Kirshner. Special thanks to our executive director, Richie Hagler, and his associate, Chaim Hollander, for the daily collaborative assistance. Our parent council, so ably co-chaired by Etty Hirschberg and Atara Yudin, and many talented women before them. Thank you all for your dedicated efforts, leadership, and the special perks and programs you provide for our students and teachers too. This is so important, this part. Everything's important, but this piece, I can't say enough. The unique atmosphere at SKA and the outstanding education our students receive is due to our extraordinary faculty and support staff. A staff who teaches and cares, who inspires and values independent and critical thinking, a staff that encourages and is nurturing and is ever so devoted to their students' success and well-being, and their own professional growth and development geared to understanding the psyche of adolescent girls in the year 2018. It's not always so easy. I consider it such an honor and privilege to work with you all. Your passion, your skill, your dedication, your support, they are unparalleled. And you have made SKA what it is today. May I ask for your applause as we salute our team SKA. Special recognition and Hakarat Hatov to Mrs. Sheila Liebtag and Mrs. Sandy Pomerantz, who I'm proud to say are master teachers and faculty leaders for these past 25 years. I want to thank my administrative team for all of their dedicated efforts on behalf of our students and school. Mrs. Bluma Drebin, Miss Lana Flamenhalf, Mrs. Dina Kobry, Mrs. Elisheva Kamenetsky, Mrs. Sandy Pomerantz, and Rabbi Yosef Zakutinsky. I am grateful for your deep concern and commitment to the varied stakeholders of our community. Special thanks to Alyssa, Joyce, and Machi, ably assisted by Leah and Linda, for running our office with kindness, warmth, and competence. We thank our maintenance and security crew who take care of all of us and ensure our safety. And what can I say to you, our parents? Thank you for entrusting us. Some of you, multiple times. Thank you for entrusting us with your daughters 4 years ago. It has been a privilege and pleasure to serve as partners with you in your daughter's growth and development. May we always have joint nachat from your beautiful and talented daughters. And I look forward to hearing great news from you when I see you all over the place. And now, my girls, our Hakarat Hatov to you, all 81 of you, for helping make SKA what it has become. As the years progress, and you begin to actualize your personal and professional dreams, and I know you will, please share in your smachot and milestones. Be sure to come back to SK for special events and Rabbi Eisenbach's Friday classes. May you all continue to grow in your personal avodat Hashem and your pursuit of knowledge and scholarship. Always know who you are and strive to be who you are meant to become. Seize the opportunity to create a Kiddush Hashem, and Chas v'Shalom, never a Chil Hashem. Never miss the opportunity to make a difference in the world. Use those special gifts from Hashem and let your voice be heard as leaders of your families and Am Yisrael. Yesh lehishtadel ish. You be that leader. The Jewish people needs you. Am Yisrael needs you. Shalom uvracha, and of course, lehitraot. It's really been a joy to work with you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Spurn. And now it's my great pleasure to call upon Rabbi Yosef Zakutinsky, who will present the Keser Shem Tov Award to Eliza Rothman.
Good morning. The seniors in the graduating class of 2018 were asked to choose a fellow classmate whose actions and deeds have earned the respect and admiration of all, a Keser Shem Tov. All I can add on a personal note to my former colleague, Rabbi Rothman, Rabbi and Mrs. Rothman, to quote the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Ashrei la'av va'em shegidlu bat kazot. How fortunate are the parents who have raised such a wonderful child. It is my pleasure to present the well-deserved Keser Shem Tov award to Eliza Rothman.
Is this the last page? Just make sure. That's the last page, right?
Yeah.
Good luck. Is this good for you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Birshos hamenahalim v'hamechubadim, harabanim v'hamorot, hahorim v'kol hamishpachot, v'hakita shal tafshin ayin chet. Shiviti Hashem l'nagdi tamid. The realization that Hashem is always present is one of the most important thoughts a Jew can have. Hashem is always present, but the real question is, how present are we? How do we keep Hashem on our minds at all times when life gets so busy? As we graduate from SKA and leave our Makom Torah, it is vital that we think about this. Until now, we've been in an education system where our spirituality is top priority. We have programs in school targeted to working on our davening and sniyot. We learn Torah subjects every day, and it is almost easy to think about what is important. But what will we do when we leave SKA and we are no longer surrounded by this spirituality? The answer lies in our ability to look around in our daily life and elevate all things physical to be spiritual. We are all familiar with Waze. The beautiful thing about Waze is not just that it knows how to get you to places with the fastest possible route, but that it knows how to recalculate. Not only if you take a wrong turn, but even if you are already on a route, it finds you a better, faster one. Imagine we had Waze to get through the ups and downs of life. Mesilat Yesharim compares life to a maze, and as you try to reach the end of the maze, there is no way to know if you are on the right path. You could walk miles, days, even years before hitting the end. How can you make it through the maze? The only way is by finding somebody who's above the maze, somebody who has already successfully made it through. These are our parents and our teachers. They are the people who can guide us through life's challenges. In Pirkei Avot we are told, Aseh lecha rav, acquire for yourself a rabbi, somebody with life experience who you can turn to for advice, to answer questions, and to guide you through life when times are difficult. This is the same idea as the maze that the Ramchal is referring to, the importance of having a rabbi figure in one's life. Now, let's take this one step further. I want to give an example of how we can take something in life that at first glance seems physical and turn it into a vessel in which we learn lessons about life and about spirituality. In order to keep all my sports fans entertained in the audience, myself included, let's explore an angle of sports that, while seemingly so mundane, can actually teach us something very profound about our relationship with Hashem. Sports teams have a coach. Most good coaches are former players. They have spent years mastering the skills of the game. They're able to guide the players who are walking through the maze and cannot see the bigger picture because they themselves are far enough removed to make decisions to guide the players in the right direction. Let's see some other lessons that we can learn from the sports analogy. Number one, imagine you gathered all of the Major League Baseball players into a stadium dressed in everyday clothes. What would their identity be? Now have them put on their team jerseys, and it makes all the difference. They are defined by that jersey because it shows who they are and who they represent. Hatznei alecha et im Elokecha. The mitzvah of tzniut, while it is difficult, is Hashem's way of setting us apart from the rest of the world. It is our own personal jersey that represents who we are as people walking in the way of Hashem. Number two, there's a certain feeling at the start of a game when you think you have all the time in the world to score that goal or make that shot. An hour seems like a lifetime, but before you know it, the clock is running out and you have to cram all your last efforts into the last few seconds of the game. When starting high school, the thought of being here at graduation seems thousands of years away, but here we are. There is a saying, Gam ze ya'avor, this too shall pass. Opportunities come and we often push them away because we think we have all the time in the world to accomplish things, but it too shall pass. We need to take every opportunity that comes our way and make every moment count. Number three, a successful team is made up of different individuals who all have different abilities, who come together and unite those abilities to play in harmony. Every one of us has their own unique purpose in life. I have a different purpose than any of you, just like a defenseman has a different purpose than a goalie. We all have our own unique kocho in life, and we all have something to bring to the table as part of Am Yisrael. Number four, over the course of the season, there are alternating home games and away games for every team. The home games take place in the team's own arena, where they are comfortable with their surroundings, have their teams cheering them on, and their fans cheering them on, and they feel at home. After a certain amount of time, the team must play an away game in which they travel to another area, to a new arena with few fans, and it is not in their comfort zone. SKA until now has acted as our home arena. We have been in the safe place where we walk the halls and we know where our classrooms are, although it took a while to figure that out. We know who the teachers are and who our friends are, but we have now reached the point in time where we are about to set out for an away game. We are going to step into our stretch zone and travel to new places where we may be unfamiliar with our surroundings, and it may be daunting, but it is an opportunity for us to bring all the lessons we have learned in SKA and wear that jersey with pride to all the different places we are headed to. We may be headed to different arenas, but over the last 4 years, we have come together to form one team made up of so many different girls with such amazing potential. Now is the time to start the clock on the next chapter of our lives. Wayne Gretzky once said, "You miss 100% of the shots you do not take." Let us have the confidence to go out into the world and take all those shots that come our way, grabbing every opportunity that presents itself. Let us remember to constantly be searching for the meaning in life, so we can always remember what team we are on, and we can live with Shiviti Hashem Lenegdi Tamid, walking with Hashem in every aspect of our lives. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and Mazel Tov to my fellow graduates.
Thank you, Eliza. It is now my pleasure to call upon Ayelet Aharon to deliver the valedictory address.
Honored rabbis, principals, teachers, family, guests, and of course, my fellow graduates, the class of 2018. It is an honor to represent my classmates today, such an energetic and impactful group of girls. About a year ago, as I was finishing junior year, probably coming off of the latest Tefillah workshop and exciting Chumash class, followed by great advice from a teacher and a meaningful conversation with a friend, I remember coming home and saying to my older sister, Shira, who's a graduate of SKA, "Shira, I never want to leave this place. How were you ever ready to leave SKA?" And she said to me, "Okay, Ayelet, you may feel this way now, but you'll see. In 12 months from now, when you're finishing up your last classes and the juniors are starting to take over, you'll realize that you've truly gained what SKA has to offer, and then you'll be ready." Katuv b'svat emet al inyan chet hameraglim beparshat shlach shekaranu etmol. Ki haya lahem b'midbar gimel matanot hatovot. Man u'be'er va'ananei hakavod. V'lachein kashe lahem latzeit min hamidbar. The feelings of the Meraglim, the spies, upon leaving the Midbar, the desert, sound strikingly similar to, lahavdil, what I told my sister. Moshe will never be ready to leave this place. Not only are we provided with delicious food and water on a constant basis, but we are literally surrounded on all 6 sides by protective clouds under the presence of Hashem. Why would we ever want to go out into a land where we'll need to work on our own? In SKA, not only do we have a different lunch vendor every day of the week and that filtered water machine outside of room 110, but we are surrounded on all 6 sides. Above us, our administration creating our growth environment. Below, our teachers to support us when we fall. And all of you, if you look to the right, to the left, forward, and behind you right now, you'll see that you have each other. Why would we ever want to go out into the real world, where we'll have to work on our own? In our AP Psychology class this year, we learned about Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages of development. In each stage, there's a tension between shame, doubt, guilt, or inferiority on one hand, and autonomy, initiative, and competence on the other. The first few stages are infancy, toddlerhood, preschool, elementary school, and the stage that my fellow graduates and I are currently facing, adolescence. Now you might be wondering, as I did, if we're naming these stages based on levels of education, there seems to be a break in the pattern. I'd like to suggest a subcategory of adolescence called high school, because these past 4 years have arguably been the most crucial stage of our development. Looking back, we can trace our freshman dependence on lunch vendors and water machines to the gradual shift to our senior independence of driving out to lunch when we have that confidence that we're ready to move forward into the next stage. It is fitting that math students in 11th and 12th grade are first introduced to the concept of infinity, because this concept can be easily grasped by those with a confidence and readiness to break out of the Dalit Amot of their 12-period, 5-day schedules and the 6 clouds surrounding them, and to open up to a world with an infinite amount of possibility and unrestricted free will. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs expands on the Svat Emet, writing that not only did the Meraglim fear the exit from the ideal circumstances of the Midbar, but they feared the entrance into the larger world. The Meraglim did not comprehend that the true mission of the Jewish people is not to remain isolated within the physical and spiritual protection of the Ananei HaKavod, the clouds of glory, but rather to engage with the outside world and to transform it. It's no coincidence that I utilized ideas from my math and psychology classes to expand on a principle rooted in Torah and its commentaries, because SKA has taught us to embrace the outside world and to find Hashem there. We all clearly saw Hashem at Tefillah at the beach, in our Torah classes, and on shelves of Sfarim in the library. But we learned to look farther than that. I happen to be a math and science person, so for me it was psychology and calculus, but all of our passions were imbued with meaning. A white lab coat in the chem lab for me may have been the equivalent of a Sonics jersey on the court, or a smock in the art room, or for many of us, a maxi skirt and cardigan on the production stage, shout out to my 11 fellow choir heads. All of these became vehicles to recognize and serve Hashem. While evidently rich and rewarding, it is certainly a challenge to achieve a proper balance between Torah and the often conflicting values of the secular world. However, in teaching us that Torah must always prevail, SKA has helped us navigate the hurdles of that path and create a symbiotic relationship where we can both gain from and contribute to the world around us. I'm so grateful to all of my teachers who have created a map for me to navigate my high school years and to keep in my back pocket for when I need direction in the future. And I know that the journey didn't begin with 9th grade. I'd like to thank Saba and Savta, Grandma and Grandpa, Mommy and Abba, and all of our grandparents and parents for guiding us from the start and for continuing to do so these last 4 years with many car rides and even more time dedicated to advice. Class of 2018. We faced many hurdles along the way, 9th grade color war, 11th grade color war, but thank God we made it. And thanks to all of us. Thank you for all of the times you said hi in the hallway or pulled up an extra seat at the lunch table. When I think about our grade, the image that comes to the forefront of my mind is when we stay for a few minutes at the end of every chagiga to dance and sing Lashana Haba B'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. I think that this represents the paradox that I've been feeling and expressing. On the one hand, we don't want to let go of what SKA has to offer, and we want to hold on for just a few more minutes. On the other hand, we're looking towards Shana Haba, the year to come. Seeing my own bittersweet emotions reflected on the faces of my peers, I speak on behalf of all of us when I turn back to my older sister, 12 months later, and say, Shira, you were right. We finished classes, the juniors took over, and we're ready. Besides Shira, there's someone else who gave me some pretty great advice recently, and that person is me. On September 4th, 2017, I wrote myself an email on futureme.com. For those of you who don't know, this is a website where you can send an email to be received by yourself at a later point in time. This morning, I received an email from myself that I had written at the beginning of this year and planned to get on graduation day. I did not remember what it would say. After asking myself a few open-ended questions to gauge my personal growth and accomplishments over the course of the year, my email ended with the following. I know you're sad now. You probably don't know what to do with yourself now that high school is over, and you don't want to go into the real world. But all good things must come to an end, and SKA was such an important stage of your life. But after every stage, you must have the courage to move on and realize that the next stage has even more to offer. Good luck at graduation and getting ready for SEM. Have a great summer. Relax, enjoy yourself, make the most of every moment. Congrats again. Love, Ayelet. Before I ever learned Eric Erikson, and before I read the spot Emet on Schlach, part of me, no doubt with the help of Hashem, knew exactly what I would be thinking and feeling when I wrote this graduation speech. Thanks for the advice, Ayelet, but I think I figured it out on my own. I give each of you a bracha that your Shana Haba and every year thereafter should continue from the path of SKA, splitting into an infinite number of directions, all within the framework of Torah, using the tools that SKA has granted you to engage with the world around you. Mazel tov.
Thank you, Ayelet, for that wonderful speech. And now it's my pleasure to call upon Lance Hurt and Mitchell Kirshner, Luma Drebin and Dina Kobry to present the diplomas and to present gifts to the graduates, Etty Hirschberg and Atara Yudin. Mrs. Elisheva Kamenetsky will also join the group of the diploma presenters.
Okay, we're going to get this started. Julia Blumenthal. Racheli Tauber. Shira Termechi. Vivi Lewis. Etta Jacobson. Esther Earlbaum. Joyce Michan. Lily Ackerman. Melanie Sokolow. Abigail Glass. Talia Gutman. Eliza Lerman. Shiffy Fagan. Gilana Goodstein. Rose Schwartz. Elisheva Greenberg. Daniela Brody. Ayelet Nussbaum. Meira Axelrod. Alyssa Silvera. Julia Klein. Chana Lalanger. Yona Levy. Kayla Kranz. Shoshana Rockoff. Eliana Slamnicki. Aliyah Tanami. Sippy Feldman. Efrat Clammer, and Mazel Tov to our one-time principal at Hallett, Rabbi Shmuel Clammer. Eliza Rothman, Mazel Tov, Rabbi Jeff Rothman, past principal at SKA. Danielle Greenfield, Yael Torchiner, Mazel Tov, to grandfather Evan Torchiner, past president of HALB. Naomi Goldstein. Schiffer Cohen. Rebecca Weiss. Rosie Zilberberg. We're going to slow down to let the dais empty. Kimia Tabakoli. Naima Inslecht. Shoshana Weiss. Tamima Grow. Marilyn Salem. Kayla Flaum. Dossie Beanstalk. Rebecca Kaufman. Mary Sachs. Atara Israel. Jordana Gross. Daniela Gelbstein. Shoshana Reichman. Leora Jakubowicz. Esther Sherman. Shira Baum. Khani Simon. Leora Unger. Chaviva Biton. Ayelet Aharon. Robin Lerner. Michal Youngrice. Molly DiGiacomo. Eliana Spies. Carrie Libor. Sheva Glickman. Simone Nissenbaum. Rachel Ash. Malky Pollock. Zohar Rehanian. Racheli Wilimowski. Leora Kimmel. Kayla Evans. Leah Goldblatt. Mazel tov. Chana Sigmund. Jacqueline Corman. Mazel tov. Tova Rosen. Chana Katz-Nelson. Rivka Fruchter. Russi Schreiber. Shira Frankel. Ahava Friedman. Yael Scheinman. Muriel Bogan. Neshama Herman. Mazel tov to all the graduates.
Short. Hold on. Okay. Head. Don't worry. No, quiet first. Shh. Girls, we're almost done. I just wanted to quickly tell you what a privilege and a pleasure it has been to work with all of you for the last 4 years. And I look forward to sharing in your many future simchas and accomplishments, big and small. So be in touch. And now, dear graduates, please rise and face the audience. You have fulfilled your graduation requirements as established by the New York Board of Regents and Stella K. Abraham High School for Girls. Please join me, audience, and celebrate as we move our tassels from right to left. Mazel tov!
Girls, take your flowers with you. Girls, take your flowers. Parents, you're all invited out to the collation. Use all the doors into the tent. Mazel tov and have a great day.
I know, I can't
Girls, take your flowers with you. Parents, friends, and guests, you're all invited out to the tent for a collation. Please use all the doors. Mazel tov and have a great day. Excellent. Spoke very well. Mazel tov, Bob. Mazel tov to Evan and Eva. Mazel tov.